Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. I'm Diego Castro. Philippine and Japanese officials signed 7 agreements as President Marcos continues his working visit in Japan. However, the possible visiting forces agreement between the two nations was not discussed. Mon Gualvez with the details.
President Bongbong Marcos and Japan Prime Minister Fumio Kishida treats their first ever bilateral meeting in Tokyo as a historical breakthrough. That's because it coincided with the 50th anniversary of Japan-ASEAN friendship and cooperation. 7 agreements have been signed between the two nations.
President Marcos's visit to Japan gives us a renewed momentum for our two nations to further upgrade our bilateral partnerships we have seen in many areas over the recent years to an even higher dimension, and for us to make further contributions to the peace and stability of the region and the world.
The future of our relationship remains full of promise as we continue to deepen and expand our engagements across a wide range of mutually beneficial cooperation.
4 of the agreements are for the North-South Commuter Railway Extension Project, where 2 are loan agreements for the said project. They also signed an umbrella term of reference for a possible humanitarian assistance and disaster relief cooperation of the two nations, and memoranda of cooperation in the sectors of agriculture and information and communications technology. DFA Secretary Enrique Manalo, Finance Secretary Benjamin Diokno, and Agriculture Undersecretary Domingo Panganiban signed the contracts on behalf of the Philippines. Security has also been discussed, although there were no talks of a possible Visiting Forces Agreement or VFA between the Philippines and Japan.
I explained to the President such matters as Japan's national security strategy, and the President welcomed Japan's commitment to the free and open international order based on rules.
The Prime Minister and I have agreed to cooperate even more closely in areas of economic cooperation, security and defense cooperation, maritime security and safety, healthcare mechanisms, environmental commitments, and people-to-people exchanges.
The President earlier mentioned he's willing to discuss VFA if it will be brought up during the bilateral meeting. Yesterday, the President also sat on a roundtable meeting along with top executives of semiconductor, electronics, and wiring harness companies in Tokyo. The Philippine delegation was able to secure investment pledges that could create more than 10,000 jobs in the Philippines. The amount would be unveiled during the signing of letters of intent later today. Meanwhile, in the roundtable meeting with tourism stakeholders, the President highlighted how despite the pandemic, Japan was fourth in tourist arrivals in the Philippines.
But more than just being a major economic driver, we see the tourism industry to be a great pillar that fosters a deep love and pride of our country.
Japan is the only country that has a bilateral free trade agreement or FTA with the Philippines, the Philippine-Japan Economic Partnership Agreement or PJEPA. In 2021, Japan was the second biggest trading partner of the country. Meanwhile, around 4 p.m. yesterday here in Japan, President Marcos and First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos paid a courtesy visit to Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako in Imperial Palace. This ended with the President inviting the Emperor to visit the Philippines as well. Today, the President will be attending more meetings with businessmen to help boost investment pledges for the Philippines. For News 5, Mon Gualvez, we are One News.
Operations at the Times Square Park and Beep Jeep terminals in Araneta, Cubao are temporarily suspended following the fire that broke out at the old Araneta Center bus terminal. The fire started at around 4 p.m. yesterday and was officially put out past 10 in the evening. This reached the classification of Task Force Bravo, the 6th level in the Bureau of Fire Protection's alarm system. Employees of nearby commercial establishments were ordered to evacuate. Some establishments surrounding the fire-hit Araneta City bus station have closed operations for the meantime. Based on authorities' initial investigation, the blaze started at the mezzanine in the right side of the building. No casualties have been recorded, but around 4 individuals sustained injuries, according to the Philippine Red Cross, including 1 fire volunteer. The Bureau of Fire Protection continues investigation into the cause of the fire and is estimating damage. We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here in One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. At least 2 Filipinos have been found dead following the devastating earthquake in Turkey. The Philippine Embassy extended its condolences to the families of the victims who were initially reported missing in Antakya. The Philippine Embassy also reports another Filipino reported missing was discovered to be alive. The team says it has also evacuated more than 10 families from the city of Antakya. As of this morning, the overall death toll in Turkey has passed the 20,000 mark. Meanwhile, the Filipino contingent sent to aid in disaster relief efforts has been deployed to the Turkish city of Adiyaman. The Philippines is also preparing a possible team to take over in the event that recovery efforts take longer than 2 weeks. Local authorities are investigating the deaths of at least 50 dogs in a private subdivision in Naga City, Cebu. According to residents and some animal welfare advocates, the dogs may have been deliberately poisoned. The dogs were seen convulsing and foaming at the mouth before passing away. Some speculate that the dogs were killed after they ate a piece of bread with rat poison in it.
Ang focus lang nila is yung mga stray dogs lang na dapat mamatay. Hindi nila inisip na ang racumin is hazard sa environment, di ba? What if pag may bata doon na naglalaro, nahawakan yung racumin, na ilagay niya yung ang lason sa bibig. So, 'di ba parang nilagay mo rin sa danger yung community nyo.
Local officials hope to finish the investigation on the series of dog deaths within a month. In the meantime, the Island Rescue Organization urges owners to be mindful of their pets.
Having a dog is a lifetime commitment. Kung tayo ng mga tao or mahilig tayo sa aso, i-assess muna natin yung sarili natin. Okay? Dapat ba magkukuha ako ng aso? Maaalagaan ko ba siya?
Here are other headlines we're keeping our eyes on. Former President Rodrigo Duterte wants the executive department to issue a strong statement to back the police and their fight against illegal drugs. The former chief executive leader says that the executive branch must commit to protecting officers who, quote, do it right. Vice President Sara Duterte urges other Southeast Asian education ministers and officials to act together in addressing education inequality, which he says was worsened by the global pandemic. Duterte assumed the presidency of the Southeast Asian Ministers of Education Organization as the Philippines takes over the leadership of the council from Singapore. While some are preparing for their date this Valentine's Day, local government employees in a town in Quezon who are single have something to look forward to on February 14. General Luna Mayor Matt Florido announced that City Hall employees present on February 14 will receive triple pay if they have been single for more than 5 years, while single employees will receive double pay. Florido said he will personally shoulder the cash gift. And that's it for this hour. Join us again at 7:45 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register an account now at signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.